Hey guys, this is going to be another one of the anatomy videos. I'm almost done this sketchbook. I sadly cannot do a flip through on this. It has some inappropriate images that I cannot share on YouTube. For those of you who don't know, I do draw erotic art and comics. These are kept on a Tumblr account that is for 18 plus only, obviously, and for obvious reasons. I will not be sharing that link because I do know that a lot of my viewers are younger and that's just not appropriate. So, moving on, for the anatomy video, you're going to be working on the legs. And if you remember from my other anatomy videos, the box of which the pelvis goes in, if we do a little bit of a 3D image here, and we will be working with the male anatomy. So, pelvis usually isn't this big, but men tend to have longer and narrower pelvises than women. Women have like kind of squat and wide pelvises. That is due to the fact that women have to bear children and their hips need to go. Yeah, not exactly the most fun thing to talk about childbirth, but men, the pelvis itself is generally the same shape, but just a little bit, like, has the same kind of bone definition. It's just a different slight shape. So think women like this and men like this, just not that drastic. Okay, so when you draw your box for your pelvis, you don't have to draw the bones, that's okay, but about halfway on the side of the box in the middle, that's kind of where the leg bone, the femur, inserts into the pelvis, and it's got a really nice ball socket in there, and the femur itself is like this portion. Sometimes you can kind of see near the outside of the leg, but the femur does this, and it's a tapered in bone, not that tapered, but, and it flattens out. It is the largest bone in the body. It is one of the strongest bones in the body, and if you break your femur, there's a femoral artery, I think I said that wrong, that runs beside it. It can puncture that, and you can bleed out very, very fast. A femur break is very dangerous, and always, like, you need to get someone to the hospital right the hell away if they break their femur. They can bleed out very, very fast with it. Just a little bit of inside anatomy knowledge. Anyways, the femur length is about 2, so this length here, 2 of those of the pelvis, and then the same for the bottom portion of the leg. I'm going to kind of cheat mine a little bit so I can fit it on the page because I drew the pelvis too short, but that's okay. So when drawing the leg, and where they meet, there's a little kind of step or a ball, which is going to be the knee. That's this part, there's a little thing called a patella, and then there's a platform, I believe it is the tibia, because there's the tibia and the fibia. And the fibia is the little bone that runs beside, and the tibia does that and that. The tibia is the one that, it's got the platform in which the femur like rotates, and that's the knee joint. And then the patella is so that the knee doesn't go like that. Which is really disgusting to watch if you watch someone break their leg. Actually, I think it was in the Sochi Olympics that, or no, it wasn't Sochi. It was the, the last Summer Olympics in Brazil. There was a gymnast who snapped his patella, so his leg went backwards. It was disgusting. Oh God. Anyways, beside the point. So, you don't need to know how the bones, you need to know how the bones work. You don't need to know how to draw them, so. Unless you are doing medical anatomy or you're looking to draw skeletons and stuff like that. This is just to get you a basis of drawing proportions and shapes of muscles. So when drawing and filling out the leg, I like to use an elongated bowling pin with the top cut off. So think of a bowling pin, knock that part off, and that's the shape. Like, basically the shape I like to use for that. And you kind of attach it up where the femur meets the pelvis, and you run it down. So The thigh is generally wider at the top and then tapers down to be a little bit more narrow. And then the same, well, yeah, the same can be said about the lower leg, tibia, fibia. The calf muscles. My God, why can I not think of muscles? Anyways, the calf is mostly muscle at the back, so there will be a line down the front, and that line is actually bone. That's why it hurts so freaking much when you get kicked in the shin, is because the nerves are right on the bone, so the impact of it just sends pain up. By the way, if anyone's ever attacking you, kick them in the shin. Not only do you get really interesting anatomy and medical advice, you get defense advice in my drawing videos. Anyways, so the patella, you can kind of see the kneecap. You always see the kneecap unless someone's got very a lot of weight on their legs where it is covered by the fatty tissues. You will see part of the gluteus maximus, and then you just remember that the outside of the leg is going to be more straight and less curvaceous as the inside of the leg. The inside of the leg has a lot of curves. There's a muscle that runs, like the quads run this way, and then they wrap around. I think that's actually the IT band that wraps around, which is the tendon that wraps around the quads. It attaches below the patella, and then there's another band that is actually a part of the gluteus maximus, or the gluteus, sorry, I don't think it's gluteus maximus, but it runs down the side of the leg and it attaches very straightly to the fibia. But that gives you that really straight side, and then the other thing gives you the curves. So curves on the inside, straights on the outside. When you see animation drawings, you'll notice this a lot more. Also, the muscle, this side is higher for the muscle, but lower for the bone. So the ankle is going to be a counterbalance of the muscle. Okay, and I believe it is the same to be said for the knee. So yeah, just that with the knee and that with the muscle. And then I won't go into the foot. I'm just kind of going to use a block form for the foot right now. The foot I will do in another video. You need the foot needs its own video. It's a lot of anatomy, it's a lot of shapes, it's a little confusing. I'll break it down better. Anyways, so if you can remember that the outside's more straight, the inside has more curves, and the fact that the inner ankle is higher than the outer ankle, and that the outer muscle is higher and tighter than the inner muscle on the calf, you'll basically get an idea, or have a nice shape to your legs. On profile, let's do this box thing. Platform, and representing the foot with just a wedge type shape. Obviously that is not a rendered foot, it's just a space holder right now. Okay. La la la. So again, our same shape. And on the reverse side of the leg, or on the side, when you look at the side of the leg, the straights on curves alternate, okay? So you're gonna have a nice round curve for the glute, a straight front on the front of the pelvis and stomach area, a nice curve for the quad, and then straight at the back. The knee does a curve out a little bit, and then it's more straight at the front, but this is also kind of a followation of the lower leg. The back of the calf goes out because that's where the muscle is, and then you have a nice straight for the front of the calf. The muscle is basically up here, and the rest of this is tendon. That is your Achilles tendon, and it attaches down under the heel. If this ever gets cut, the muscle like shoots up, and that's why you can't walk, because it keeps the muscle flexed for you. That's why your Achilles tendon is something you really don't want to have cut ever, and just talking about it makes me queasy. So that's a lot easier to do and a lot quicker But if you can just remember that it's usually a straight on a curve, then you can usually make some very nice shapely legs. These legs are a little bit long and extended, but whatever. If you have any questions on this video or any of my other anatomy videos, please let me know in the comment section below. If I haven't made something clear enough, again, just let me know. Yeah, so just to reuse the bowling pin shape, the bowling pin would be that, and then sometimes you'll have people that have the curve comes out a little bit, but in generally not so much. You want that to be a little bit straight. It's just a nice design thing. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will chatter at you later.